All right, guys. Crystal Palace had just beaten Arsenal by 3 goals to 0, and Crystal Palace they just seem to turn it up a notch against big sides, especially at Selhurst Park. Obviously, the most recent one was against Man City a few weeks ago. Managed to play really well in a 0-0 draw against probably the best team in the league. Well, the best team in the league as it stands because they're top. Um, and yeah, they played really well that night, played really well tonight. And even when they lost 3-1 to Liverpool in January, they were probably the better side in that game. They were very unlucky to lose that one by the margin they did. But tonight they were just so much better than Arsenal. It was unbelievable. The first half, like Arsenal just couldn't get a sniff of the ball. Players like Conor Gallagher, Jeff Schlupp, Jordan Ayew, like the pressure they were putting on Arsenal's midfield and defence was immense and just too much for Arsenal to deal with. Um, the first goal came from a set piece, brilliant ball whipped in by Conor Gallagher. And Nuno Tavares, who I'm still yet to see have a good game for Arsenal, to be honest. I'm sure he's had moments where he's looked good, else CB wouldn't be in contention to be playing. But whenever I watch him, he just seems to be all right going forward, but shocking defensively. And he was caught ball watching at the back post. Joachim Andersen nips in front of him, heads it across goal, and Mateta heads it back into the net from about 5 yards out. Good poacher's finish. And yes, at that point you're thinking, okay, Arsenal, they're a young side, they could crumble here because they've got very few experienced players in the team. You've got Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey in midfield, but other than that, there isn't a lot of players who have played, who have been in situations of great pressure, and know how to deal with it. It is just Partey, Xhaka, and possibly Lacazette as well. And they conceded another about 5 minutes later. A poor mistake from Gabriel Magalhaes to, just try and intercept a pass that he was never going to be able to reach. It was a really good pass by Anderson, and Jordan Ayew took it on the turn really well and did really well to put it into the bottom left corner with a fair bit of power. Didn't give Ramsdale a chance with it. And yeah, just again, poor defending from Arsenal. And I mean, two assists for Joachim Andersen. I'd assume you'd got decent odds on that if you'd have predicted that before the game. Um, I'm not sure if he's up there with Kevin De Bruyne in the assists table, but well, I'm not even sure De Bruyne's up there this season. Is he? It's Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mo Salah at the top, I think. Um, but yeah, Palace first half were just really good, and at half time you just felt it was game over really, because Arsenal weren't showing anything that said they were going to get a goal or even get close to getting back into the game. But in the second half, they had a few decent chances. Emile Smith-Rowe had the pick of the bunch on 2 occasions. The first one, it's fallen to his feet and he should be scoring. And he's put a tame effort straight into the keeper's hands, poor. And one right at the end, which, to be fair to him, Mark Guehi did really well to block it. And I think Mark Guehi, the way he's playing at the moment, he's genuinely got to be considered as a contender for an England spot in the starting 11 with how poor some of the England players are playing right now. So, like, if we say there's like a top 5 for England centre backs right now over who should be starting really, Harry Maguire and John Stones are the two that have been there and done it at the tournaments, so they've got to be in contention. And then you've also got Ben White, who, I mean, he didn't have a great game tonight. He had far from a great game, but he's had a good season at Arsenal. And then you've also got Mark Guehi and Fikayo Tomori hasn't had a look in with like games for England yet, but the way he's playing for AC Milan and the way and how well AC Milan are doing, you'd think he'd be given a chance at some point. But there's definitely a shout for Mark Guehi to be, in and around the team. But yeah, he did really well to block the second Smith Rowe chance, and Odegaard also had a decent chance. However, Odegaard also did give away a stupid penalty in the second half, and that finished it off completely for Crystal Palace. With Zaha in the box, and Odegaard just sticks out a lazy left leg and clips him on the back of the heel, and Zaha tucked away the penalty, and I think that meant Zaha reached double figures this season in goals in the Premier League, which is an impressive statistic, and I think he has gone slightly under the radar this season, Zaha, because even though you'd say Crystal Palace have been doing well this season, I mean, take that with pinch of salt. Like they're top half of the table. I think they're 9th or 10th now, which is still an improvement on previous seasons, but I think it's more to do with the fact that it's exciting football as well on top of that. And I think there's been a lot of focus on players like Conor Gallagher, Mark Guehi, Joachim Andersen, Tyrick Mitchell more recently, as well as possibly Michael Olise. I think Zaha being back on form this season has gone slightly under the radar, so he does deserve credit for that. And yeah, as I said, he tucked away the penalty with quite a lot of confidence. I mean, his penalty against Norwich was shocking earlier in the season, but yeah, he took the penalty well tonight. But yeah, just a shocking performance from Arsenal tonight, and I mean, Arsenal and Tottenham are both going for top four this season, and they're on the same points now, and there's the North London derby coming up obviously as well, and yeah, it should be interesting. Arsenal have played a game less, so that is slightly in their advantage, but they've both lost 3-0 away at Crystal Palace this season. Bit of an interesting fact for you there. So yeah, Selhurst Park, not an easy place to go to. I think out of the so-called big six teams this season in the Premier League, I think it is. United are still yet to play at Selhurst Park this season, I think, but City drew, Liverpool won, but even though they won by a 2-goal margin, they were still, slightly fortunate, I felt, as a Liverpool fan watching that game. And Arsenal and Tottenham both lost 3-0. So, I mean, and Chelsea as well. How did Chelsea, they got a last-minute winner. I remember the game. It was the game that Lukaku only got 7 touches. So, again, it took Chelsea a lot to win. So, Selhurst Park is a very tough place to go, and I think a lot of that's down to the fans, to be honest. They definitely lift the players to a different level. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.